you. And we live on Tactic.
Yeah.
It's pretty. You gotta turn her
Brightness, is it the brightness that's not on there?
There you go. There you go. Now we up.
Okay.
We up.
I'm trying to go to Facebook.
Out the whole house. Sonny brought it in here.
Excuse me.
Touched our mama house.
Everybody feeling it.
It's going through.
But yeah, so this is Marriage Mondays.
Yes.
And
Have to enunciate. Right? Is that the right word?
yeah.
Marriage Mondays. Want to give them a recap or what we?
Yeah, you can do the recap.
Okay, so we are back with our Dynamics in Relationships Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Last Monday we touched on
Our parenting.
parenting. We touched on our business dynamic
And our friendship.
and our friendship. I think, did we touch on that really? A little
Our
bit.
friendship
Yeah, I
dynamic?
guess
Yeah,
we
I
did touch
believe
on
so.
that.
Yeah.
So we want to really dive into the important dynamics, which we didn't really get to cover.
Yeah.
We went a little longer than expected last week, which is our spiritual dynamic, which is our sister and brother dynamic, and our husband and wife dynamic. I don't think we really touched on how powerful that dynamic is
Yeah.
in comparison to the other dynamics that we touched on. So that's a recap.
And also our spiritual dynamic. I think that a lot of marriages miss that spiritual aspect.
Agreed.
And one of the things that I think we haven't, you know what, and to be honest, we haven't actually been praying together as much as we should, but we do pray for each other. And I think I said this like in one of our lives like recently was how you don't having a husband to cover you is, I mean, it's really a powerful thing. And I just thank God for, you know, having a husband that can cover me, that can pray for me, that can instantly knows when I stand in need of prayer. Excuse me, that's something that I believe is extremely powerful. And I mean, I know that's the same for him, but having a husband to do that is for you is like a flex, I feel like, because I think people take for granted their prayer life. And I also feel like in marriages, that dynamic is not as powerful at having a praying husband. And I think that, well, I feel and I know how important that is because, like I said before, there are times where I can just fall asleep and I know, you know, in my heart that you are going to cover us. I know that we're going to be covered because I know that you're going to hit your knees every night. I know that you're not going to bed. There is times where we will be like super tired and I've been to fell asleep and my husband will literally get on his knees and pray every time. It don't matter the hour of the night that we're going to bed. Before he hits that pillow, he's going to be in prayer for his family, and I appreciate that. And it's even more powerful because I don't know if that's too much, but it's like a promise that he made to God to make sure that he would. So it's just
let him know.
Even which makes it even more meaningful and because he don't fail on that promise. So I really appreciate that. And it means a lot to me as a wife who understands the importance of prayer and understand. And y'all, when I tell y'all, when my husband be praying, like, I'm talking about God be coming straight through. And what we fail to realize too is like, even as women and as believers, that God made man for himself, and then he made us for man, saying that it was not good for man to be alone. So yes, God hears our prayers. Yes, God, answers our prayers. Because don't get it twisted, God don't play about me neither.
No.
So y'all better know that. But I'm just saying, just from a husband's aspect of how God created him to communicate with him. And so that relationship is even more powerful. So when my husband gets on his knees and speaks to God, and not only that, it's just the posture of humility, and he makes sure that he hits his knees. It's not just like standing prayer. It's not just walking prayer, which nothing is wrong with any posture of prayer, but that posture is the most humbling posture, that I believe that you can have in prayer. And it's something that even my husband has even helped me out with, and just my prayer posture. And so those are some of the things that I appreciate about our spiritual aspect, but also just the importance of the covering of a husband. I think it's just extremely powerful, and having a praying husband at that. And yeah.
No, so I like that. I appreciate that, baby.
Yeah.
And just so you know, the promise that was made was, I told Yahweh that
I think I'm gonna call my tea.
while we were dating, and it was she invited me to Atlanta. This was like our first actual time that we really like linked and were together in person. And so, but I told God, because we already been talking for some weeks, maybe like a month prior to that, and I told God that if this is what I think it is, then I'll hit my knees every night for you, thanking you for the woman that you sent me, because I had a feeling that this was my wife while we were like very short period into our dating. Just our flow, the type of woman she was, the dynamics that were hitting. The friend dynamic was on point. We could talk for hours. The type of businesswoman she was phenomenal. She was already running a 6-figure business. She was doing terrific in the hair industry. The type of mother she was, I can tell the way she was intentional about the type of time that she was spending with her daughter, the things that she was implementing in her son. So all of those things I paid very, very close attention to. Having children, that was a big plus for me. So all those dynamics were very powerful. And so I forgot, what was my train of thought? What was we going with that? What was I going with that?
The prayer you were talking about.
So the promise.
The promise.
Yeah. So that's what it was at. And so I told God that if this woman is truly who I feel like she is, then every night I won't miss a night. Just admiration and thanking you for the beautiful soul that you sent me. And so every night, since I ain't gonna tell you what happened at the airport on my way home, but God gave me the biggest revelation I've ever received.
Yeah.
In that airport, and since that night, I've been on my knees ever since. So yeah, that's the promise.
Amen.
Let's check the comments real quick before I get mine. You got anything? No?
Just
watching?
Hey y'all.
Okay,
Thank y'all for watching. Thank
y'all got anything to add? Just leave a comment. We'll tap in. But so I feel like the most important part of my spiritual dynamic with you is the fact that as a woman, as my sister in Christ, that you're not leaning on your own understanding. So I feel like with a lot of different relationships that I've been in, pretty much every relationship that I've been in, no woman was really walking with Christ the way you are, or were, or still are. You know? And nobody really had the passion and the eagerness and the urgency and the love to want to walk close with God as well. So it's not even that they were even attempting to. It was like they weren't even like, I didn't even see the passion behind it, you know. So that was very clear when we met, was the love that you have for God. And, so being able to share that dynamic with you, and you not leaning on your own understanding, you were able to help me grow in so many different aspects of my spirituality. Because I was already a very spiritual person. I was very more so grounded, more so I guess than spiritual. Because me and God had a relationship, but I was more so focused on being a better version of myself, more so than getting, I guess, closer to God.
Relationship.
Right. So with you, I felt like that's where the relationship started to build. I really started to see myself in different ways. I got to really tap into what the laws of God were, and why we were doing certain things, and because growing up in church, which I feel like a lot of us did, just being Black African American. Children of the diaspora, whatever you want to call ourselves. I mean, I'm multi-racial anyway. I got a couple different races anyway. So, but just our culture. Most of us have grew up in the church or have been around the church for a while, right? And so, growing up, nothing really impacted me in church. Like we was talking about me and Brother Leslie. We were talking about that when we had Bible study Saturday. That we grew up in the church, and I couldn't tell you one sermon. And my dad played the drums. My mom was a praise dancer. So we were very much every Sunday we was in it, you know. So, but I couldn't tell you nothing that was going on. One scripture or one sermon that the pastor. You said what, baby?
I said close the Bible.
Go ahead, close it. That's fine, baby.
And so, so it was just.
You were just there.
Yeah, I was just there. And so the older I got, the more in tune I got with myself and being able to just to understand what I want in life and what wasn't working, what is working, why isn't it working, why is this working, why do I feel this, why. So just being more in tune with those things drew me to you and ultimately drew me closer to
God.
Our Creator. So
that's good.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest part, is just you being able to lean on God and not your own emotions and not your own way of doing things, because it's very easy for women to get like that. To snap into, just start doing, just bucking the system. What you?
Don't you go there. Don't start, bro. We is not on here for that. we not on here for that, bro. Don't start. Cause I don't got time.
I'll vent somewhere else. I'll vent somewhere else.
Oh, y'all, he swear at me now. I'll be bucking the system, but he just has to understand my way of thinking on certain things, and I've been trying to explain.
That's part of the dynamics, right? That's part of the dynamics. Like we just got over a little hiccup. We can laugh now, but yesterday we weren't laughing. It was a real issue yesterday, y'all. But I felt some type of way. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday?
It was the day before yesterday.
Day before yesterday.
No. It was yesterday.
It was yesterday?
Today Monday, isn't it? Yeah, it was yesterday.
No, it was a tank fight. Saturday. Yeah, Saturday night. It bled over to Sunday a little bit. Did it? No, we got it straightened out on Sunday before we went to church.
Was it Sunday? Oh, yeah. Okay, it was yesterday. But... y'all know what?
But that's just learning that's just learning each other, right? So you're gonna have issues. You're gonna have, like we just talked about, conflicts. We just came out of a conflict.
Yeah.
It's just how you work through it, because yesterday it could have set us back 6 months.
Yeah.
Just not being able to communicate through it.
But the thing is that you gotta be willing. Because it's so easy to take something that starts here and keep it going and keep it lingering and then now it turns into something that neither one of us even understands why we're upset, why we are even mad, why we're even going back and forth. I mean, we barely can remember what day it was. So you see what I'm saying?
It shows you how small those problems
and how quick it can turn into something bigger if you're not okay with it. And I mean, if you're not quick to
Nip it in the
correct
bud,
yourself
yeah.
and nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
And I'm very too, like, where I just kind of, it takes me a second to kind of gather
more than a second.
gather myself, because the thing is, guys, I'm very conscious of what I say. Like, one thing, you know, because I don't ever want to say anything that I have to like take back. I don't ever want to say anything that I have to regret or ask for like forgiveness from. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't your emotions when you respond, when you move in your emotions, you are reacting instead of responding. And so a lot of times, and I have come to a place where God has allowed me to control my emotions and and have my emotions very controlled. So I don't take that lightly. But my husband is very, like, he wants to speak about it right now, and a lot of the times I'm not in the space to speak about it because I may be mean, and I don't want to be mean to my husband. So just give me my
Space.
time to just kind of get the right words to be able to, you know, have a civil conversation, a nice conversation where we can be able to actually solve it versus making it worse. You know, so that's kind of just be like where I just kind of be, you know, but
I tried to take a page out of that book.
I know.
So just to be able to make sure that I'm not continuing to speak, because that's part of me wanting to fix it is me continuously talking. So I have to learn how to just like, okay, let me just let's leave it here.
Yeah.
And
pick
figure it out.
let's
Pick it
calm
back
down
up another.
and
Figure something else out. But because I'm so in the mood trying to
correct it or fix it.
Okay, so what's the problem? So why didn't you do so? I'm not even knowing I'm making it worse because she's looking like, nigga, just stop talking to me. It's like, so I gotta be like conscious of, okay, let me just. Alright, so I just had to.
Yeah, I don't be looking like that. He just be taking stuff. He takes stuff like all the way left too. It's okay.
Pretty good. Pretty good observer. I'm pretty, I try to move with some intentionality and making sure that I'm strategic about how I move. I'm not just out here. I'm just like, I'm peeping. And so once I understand, like, okay, that's how she comes.
But yeah, we definitely had a situation. But it comes with marriage. It comes with two different people becoming one and having to learn each other to be able to collaborate and compromise, to be able to do all these things as, one.
Yeah.
So,
but I think that's, again, goes back to the dynamics why it's important. Because if we're just stuck in husband and wife mode,
we'll never
get
conflict.
We're just gonna forever be
on the crazy. It's the crazy cycle. It's called the crazy cycle. One of the books that we read, is, what is it called? The Love She Sold.
Should we
it's called Love and Respect.
Plug them.
The love that she desires. I got it. The love she desires, the respect he so desperately needs.
Oh, you do.
And that book, it definitely helped us learn how to really stay off the crazy cycle. So that's kind of what that is that if we just stay in our husband, oh snap.
It's cool, let's go.
If we just stay in our husband and wife dynamic, then our friend dynamic is not being touched. Our spiritual dynamic is not being touched. And if we stay in just husband and wife, we can stay on that wheel of the crazy cycle because nobody is humbling themselves. Nobody is correct, standing in correction. We just going back and forth with each other. Yeah, and I think that
that's the pride.
And I think that that's something that we do very well is we choose not to make it bigger, and we choose not to kind of be corrected and stand corrected. So that's one thing that I feel like God has definitely blessed us with. We don't argue often, but we definitely talk through everything. So if you are around us, you might hear us talking about like talking through some stuff because we gonna talk through it, and that's just what it is, you know. And I think that's a huge dynamic that we have, is just that communicative dynamic, being friends, being lovers, being, you know, brothers and sisters, like not, you know, physical brother and sister, but like spiritual, through brothers and sisters in Christ. And, you know, and I don't think a lot of people understand those dynamics too, but, you know, I mean, it is what it is. But that's just what it is for us. And I think that it's been extremely powerful just to be able to stand in that.
And also not to cut your wisdom, the conversations that we're able to have are very different. They're always deep, and they're like I said, they're very different because we don't just stay stuck on husband and wife topics like did you cook, how was work, like that's basic conversation to where we can dive into, man, you know, so and so looked at, you know, so and so hollered at me today at the gas station, you know, so we can have her like. I can look at her as a, you know what I'm saying, as my homie and be like, dang, yeah, you know, I already know how it's coming, you know, so we can talk about it instead of me being a husband. Like, so what did you do?
Yeah, how did you?
So did you lift up the back of your shirt? Like, why? Where did you see your butt from? Like, you know, so it's like you can get on the weirdo husband type time where you can just be your homie and like understand, like, oh, that's reality, you know. And so even going into those different type of conversations, and then we really can have a spiritual and brother and sister in Christ moment to where we can open up the Bible and really talk about certain things. It's not we don't have our friend hat on, we don't have our husband and wife hat on, we have our relationship with God hat on, our Abba hat on, you know. So we're trying to really trying to maneuver through this spiritual life that we have, because like we said, we're spiritual beings. These are just human experiences that we're having.
And everything is spiritual. And whether we want to believe it or not, everything is spiritual, down to the families that we're born in, down to the things that we are faced with. Everything is spiritual. And a lot of times people fail to realize that, but it is the truth. Everything is spiritual. And one of the other things too is also just like the way that we read the Bible. And I love when my husband read the Bible, and I love what hit the interpretation and the way that things sit with him. It's so amazing really to watch and to see. And even just to see him grow and to talk about the things that he's reading, because a lot of times, like how he was talking about earlier, like a lot of times when we are in church, we are just there, we are just in the building, we are just going to church, but we are not actually taking the book home and reading the Bible. Like most people do not even read. Like I think there was some statistics about like most Americans read like one book a year, and most people haven't read since they've been out of school. Like some people don't read a simple sign on the door that says "We are closed today." Like for real.
I don't read as much as I should read, because I could save myself a lot of time if I did.
If you just read, you can just save yourself a lot of time. Like most people fail to realize, like a little bit of reading goes a very long way.
That's my wife's favorite quote to me.
Tim, just like, babe, did you read it?
I just be feeling
I just kind of skim through it. No, just take a moment and read it, and then you will know exactly what it's saying. Because it's telling you if you just read it, because you can comprehend. little bit of reading go a long way. I mean,
We got it, folks. We got it, folks.
no, but for real, I just be kind of like, did you read it?
You blew like that, too? Dang.
But like all in all though, it's just like I think that's something that's super powerful is just the way that he retains the word. It's so good. And it's exciting to see just the growth over the years, you know.
Yeah.
That's also something that I really appreciate about our spiritual dynamic. And then just our marriage dynamic, period. I feel like we work very well together in all of the aspects.
Well, for sure.
I think even just the way that we're intimate with each other. And I think a lot, I know and I feel
Intimacy be up.
that...
Going down. I ain't gonna say too much, but
not even just that, but
you teed up.
the intimacy and
That's a big part of. I think that's a big part of marriage. Is
it is.
It's a big
It
part.
is. It's a big
that
part.
dynamic, like sex, is important.
Well,
important.
it's more like okay, and this is the thing is that I think a lot of marriages too, what they miss out on is that this is it's a spiritual it's a spiritual
Action.
act.
Yeah.
And it's not even like okay.
Go ahead, talk about it, baby. Talk about it, baby. Talk about it.
For one, it's like we've gotten so far away from that lovemaking being a intimate spiritual act. We've gotten so far
real.
from it
That's real.
that we think that it's just what do you call it? Like pleasure for your flesh. And and one thing that I learned is like not to look at our lovemaking or sex, whatever you want to call it, to not look at it as like just to be satisfying to my flesh, but for it to be satisfying to my spirit, and for it to also be satisfying to my Father, because God created that as it's a gift. It really is a gift. It really is something that God has truly given to us to be able to experience on another level, and
on a marriage level.
On the marriage level, and because it's so much more. I mean, it's so much more. Is that right?
So
It's more different than
much more.
It's much more different. Thank you, baby. It's much more different being intimate with your husband than it is being intimate with someone that you're not married to.
I agree.
And not only that, but the experience and the spiritual experience that you experience.
Because you get to
during
really,
that.
you get to, not to cut your wisdom, but the oneness that you create,
Yes.
you really get to feel it in that aspect. Because when you're just dating, you still feel it, but it's still confusing because it's like, wait,
it's not real.
Is this my, like, you know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
not real.
I know we had, like, the bond is strong, but it's like, is this the person I really, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of confusion.
It's not real.
Yeah. So,
It's very, sorry, baby.
No, go ahead.
It's not real.
Right,
It's very much a lie.
Yeah.
And it's very much to keep you like stuck in a cycle and from being able to experience that level of true intimacy
with your wife,
with your husband,
right.
and or with your wife, you know. And I know for a fact that we missed that. So I was talking today with this young lady. We were talking about marriage, and she's getting ready to get married, and I was telling her how you know, just creating the marriage to the wedding to be for you and your spouse and not about everybody else. You know, making it very, very personal for you guys, you know, and not for everybody else. And so I was explaining to her how we were celibate. So on our honeymoon, we had some things that came up or whatever, and how we had to end up making an additional plan for our honeymoon, and how we decided to spend our honeymoon. And so, but I was explaining to her how God set everything up so perfectly, that, I mean, it was just amazing, right? But what I was explaining to her was how, because we were celibate and we waited for each other, how that made such a huge difference in how we spent our honeymoon, and how much more, I guess, explosive, I guess I would say that it was. And it's just like, in that dynamic of our life is
It was supernatural.
it is, and that's just what it is. And it's like that all the time. And it's like, I feel like if we as people really understand that choosing the person that you marry, choosing the person, because with us dating, if I don't like him, I just don't like you. We can just go our separate ways, because we haven't had sex. We don't really know each other like that. We don't really, I could just go another way.
There's no real tie.
There's nothing that's actually tying me there.
Or binding you there.
Yeah. And it's and I'm not just with him because we're having sex. So, but yeah, so that's just kind of like why I feel like we have to be extremely careful with who we marry, because that dynamic is something that's so powerful. And you just got to be careful. And you don't understand like how many people are in relationships and marriages only because they have had sex with people and they not really happy. They don't really want to be there. They just there because they feel tied to that person. I've been with them for all these years.
We got 4, 5 kids.
And we, and that sexual dynamic will keep you bound to someone when it ain't meant to be.
And settling.
When it ain't meant to be.
And even if it's somebody that I feel like you were meant to be with, when you start to have,
yes,
when you start to do married people, or let me say married people, when you start to, I guess, do things that people that are married would do, it's like you kind of like selling yourself short. It's like you like, I guess, I'm trying to think of a good metaphor.
But it's basically,
it's like you're not giving nobody a real reason to take the next level. It's like we moved in together. I'm already hitting it every day. You cooking for me. You know what I'm saying? Like we already rocking and rolling, so it's not really giving me much more motivation to get it done. Yeah. Because I already got. And there's what I need for the most part.
There's no standard that's being set, you know, and I also, and I totally agree with that. So. And I think I mentioned that in like one of the videos I had made. It's just like, it's like there's no boundary that's being set. So it's like I'm giving you all of me in every single way. So there's no reason for you to have to want to move to that next level with me.
Take that covenant under God with me.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that's really what it is. Like,
it is. This
is where a lot of this is why this needs to be said as well, because I think a lot of people look at marriage as a contract and something legal, and technically it is.
It is.
But from the marriage dynamics that we're coming from, and why this marriage Mondays is important, is because we're trying to give you a spiritual understanding of what marriage looks like, and why the covenant is important under God more so than under law. Yeah. So that's the real person that you need to be worried about. Walking the line, walking a real, a true husband and a true wife line with is Yahweh.
Yeah, and
not the judge.
Yeah.
Not your wife. Like, that's the person you need to be
in alignment
with, because whether she tweaking or not, your posture still got to be
unto God. Point. Yes, that is so good. So you have to do it unto God. Yeah. And that's one thing. That's why I say, like, we stand to be corrected. Like, it don't matter. We're gonna be corrected. We're going to, cause God don't play about neither one of us. Towards and if we into it with each other, we gonna stand corrected because God don't play about neither one of us. And
it's quick too. Like,
yeah, it's very quick.
It's like I'm starting to see it quicker every day. Like as soon as I hear something crazy or my name is, or somebody has a misunderstanding about what's going on with me, God quickly is finna make an adjustment, and the quicker I give it to Him, like I throw the oop, the quicker He dunk it. Like the more I hold the ball, it's like okay, it's like I gotta figure out a way to. It's like I'm holding the anger.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good metaphor to hold. Like the good metaphor. Like as long as I give it to God, the quicker we can score. The quicker the job get done. So that's kind of how I deal with the battles now. I don't even look to score it no more. I just let God do it.
Yeah. No, that's real.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I
You
think
got any comments you got to tap in with? Oh, we got some. I'm sorry, we were missing y'all. We locked in. Who that, baby?
Oh, that's Tanya.
Let's talk to him a little bit. Who
Hey,
was that?
Tanya. Hey, everybody that's watching. We appreciate you guys. Tanya said this is good. Sex will mess up your boundaries. Absolutely, it sure will.
Yeah.
Yes. And Price Banks said absolutely. Real intimacy is loving God first together. No, for real. And that's why I said one of the seasons of our lives, especially when it got like really tough for us, like that was one of the main things. It's like us keeping our eyes on God and definitely being in alignment with Him first and then each other. And you can tell when either one of us is not in our prayer closet, ain't reading. You can, you know what I'm saying? You can tell. And definitely the sex will mess up your boundaries because you will do things that you'll find yourself doing things that you probably would not do otherwise if you were not having sex with that person. Right. If you will find yourself in relationships that you know dang on well that you shouldn't be in. You okay?
Hell no. Let me know when you're done washing, so I can now wash my new pants.
Okay. Oh. But you can, you definitely will, hey mama, you okay, boo-boo? You will definitely, find yourself compromising in so many different ways. So many different ways. And if you were not having sex with that person, you would not. But truly, there's definitely so much like that is gifted to you for waiting and being with your partner that, you know, you truly choose to be with because you're actually making a choice to be with that person. And that's why I said, like, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to God for my husband. I'm grateful to God for our marriage, our relationship. I'm grateful to God for every aspect of our marriage. And, you know, I'm grateful that he's my friend and, you know, and yeah, my partner.
Now we share a baby.
Yeah.
We got us another dynamic we working in.
Yeah.
And yeah, role switch. Like we'll get into that another time.
Yeah. But I'm extremely grateful for him. I'm grateful to God for him. And I be telling him all the time, like, even if something was to happen where, God forbid, but you know, if I was not able to share life with him, I appreciate just being able to share these times with him. You know, it has really shifted my life. It has shifted my thought process of myself, and just being able to experience life with him has definitely been a blessing. Yeah. And I thank God for that.
Think like that.
But I mean, I'm not saying that is it, but I'm just saying, like, I'm grateful for even just
No, I get
this
it, though.
little bit of being able to experience God's love
No,
on
that's
earth
beautiful. That's
is
beautiful.
more than enough.
That's
you know.
beautiful. I definitely.
So
I
that's
definitely
just what
get
I'm
that.
saying. I ain't saying it like
No,
know.
no. I'm saying like just my mind. I've never really had that thought process, really. But that's beautiful to hear, and I appreciate that. But it's like my mind says more. So I just at this point couldn't imagine my life without you. At this point. Like I'm so thankful. I'm overwhelmed because we're just getting started. So every day is a new experience. Every day is beautiful. Even when there's conflict, because we're able to work through it and we get closer through that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And there's so many things. There's so many like levels and layers to like marriage, and just especially our situation, even with just like being in different states from the kids, and just it's so many different layers to everything that we deal with as a collective, as a it's just so many different things. And but I thank God for everything that we share, and all that we are going to share later on. But yeah, so y'all, those are our dynamics. Did we wanted to talk about another dynamic, but I think it's kind of been a while. How long have we been on here?
Almost an hour. I don't know. We started
Oh
at 8:30?
dang, I don't know. Did we start at 8:30?
Around there.
Yeah. So, but we pray that we have said something that will help you guys,
alter,
and that will shift your minds about marriage. Also just about the boundaries, like set better boundaries. Like, I mean, it's 2025. Like, even though that doesn't even matter, but
I feel like it do, because it's
It's
a lot of craziness going on.
it's
a
just
lot of,
so much. Like,
you got the polygamy.
we have to make better decisions.
It's a bunch of different dynamics that don't need to be around, for real. And so it's really just putting it back into
The hands of
the
God.
perspective for real.
And really just like setting boundaries. Like, we have to, stop settling for things and really truly seek after God's heart and God's will for our lives, for our relationships, for our marriages, because it's not good for us to be alone. I mean, I know some people be like, I don't need no man, I want to be alone. Well, I need my man, honey, and I love.
Let them know, Shawty. Let them know, Shawty.
Like, I mean, but I'm just being real,
For real.
But I just really feel like we have to be able to make better decisions. We have to choose better partners. We have to truly, really seek after God for our healing. It's just so many things and so many levels to this life that we just make things so much more complicated than they have to be. And marriage is a ministry, and it's an assignment. Like, I have to constantly remember and remind myself, like, my husband is like my gift from God, and I'm his gift from God. And we both have to steward each other. You gotta steward your marriage. Like, and people think that it's just like it's easy. Things that you may not like about your partner, that they do different ways about them and stuff like that, or you have to steward them, and you have to make sure that everything that you do towards your partner is pleasing to God. And if it's not, you better believe Abba will get on your head about your mate, because he will. And if it's truly a spiritual marriage and a godly marriage, God will correct you. And as long as you stand in that posture to be corrected, you cannot go wrong. And I just that's truly what I feel and what I know. What I know to be true. Because, baby, we be having to do some repenting around here when we get mad.
Walk away. Walk walk away from
But it comes with the territory. But I just thank God that because we were celibate and because we do things pleasing unto God, that it's not hard for us to get back on track. It's not hard for us to, and we laugh about a lot of our arguments because they be dumb. They don't even be that big, and they really be misunderstandings. And yeah, and so I'm grateful to God for that, but first and foremost. But I'm grateful to God to have such an understanding husband, and because he understands me when I think even when I'm very difficult, because I can be a little,
bossy.
I'm a little bossy. You're right.
Definitely bossy. That's where she get it from.
We call Journey Boss Baby.
Little Tasha.
But no, I am a little bossy. I ain't gonna lie. I'm bossy. I know I am. But I'm more of a cause I'm the type, so I'm a person that I'm gonna get it done, and my husband is very literal. So it's like, yeah. I think we had did a Monica, I see you watching. We did a thing at the women's retreat, and it was like, if you were like a person that get things done, if you like a person that's literal, that asks a lot of questions, that and it was another like four different categories of people. And everybody said, which one is the hardest person to work with? And everybody said the person that's literal, because they'll be asking too many questions.
That's fine.
And
That's completely fine with me.
but y'all, I'm telling y'all, my husband will ask 1,000 questions, and I'll be like, oh my God.
We'll get
Oh my God.
understanding. What is going on? What do you need? Where does it have to go?
Then he
Does
likes
it
to
have to be
quote.
there?
Quote the
do not
scripture.
want to do it again.
Quote the scripture. God tells us to get with all I get an understanding.
Bro.
But we love y'all. We pray that you guys have heard something today that will encourage you, that will help you on your journey, and wherever you may be in your journey. We pray God's blessings over you and your marriages and your relationships that are leading to marriage.
Yes.
And yeah, we just pray that God's grace be with you guys. Thank y'all so much for joining us. We'll be back next Monday.
Hopefully at 7.
No, don't even give him no time.
Yeah, we're gonna say.
Because
we have to work in excellence. I like order. I do things in order. I appreciate processes and procedures. We need to be on time.
Yeah, that's what he said today. But soon as
She was
Monday
late.
come,
You was late.
I was not late. I was here before 7 o'clock, and I was done working. I was done working. I was
late.
I was done working, and I was here prior to 7.
We still have to set up.
You were supposed to set up. I was gone working.
We're gonna let them go. We'll talk about that. We're gonna go ahead and let them go. All right, live. We holla at y'all. We'll be back one day. We love y'all. Keep God first. Respect and love one another, man. Respect and love.
Excuse me, y'all. I'm
win.
sorry.
You respect and love. You gonna win.
Y'all, we thank y'all so much for watching. Well, God bless y'all. Thank you, Tanya. We appreciate you. Thank you, Monica. We appreciate y'all. We love you guys. God bless y'all. All right, we out of here.
Gone. Finish him.
Okay, hold on. We gotta finish this live. Thank y'all, YouTube. Okay.